Our president has the things that he said and the things that he hasn't said in the right times, that we won't stand for it.
This morning, the president responded. Going to the White House is considered a great honor for a championship team. Stephen Curry is hesitating, therefore invitation is withdrawn.
It's just kind of beneath, I think, a leader of a country to go that route. It's not what leaders do.
There is a long, tense history between Donald Trump and the Golden State Warriors, namely the best shooter of our generation, Steph Curry, and legendary head coach, Steve Kerr.
There was a respect for the office, and also a respect not only from us, but from the president himself, and that goes both ways. We would, in normal times, very easily be able to set aside political differences and go visit and have a great time, and that'd be awesome. But these are not ordinary times. The president made it really, really difficult for us to honor that institution. His comments about the NFL players was as bad as anything he has said to this point. So it's awful. You're talking about young men who are peacefully protesting police brutality and racism, racial inequality, peacefully protesting. Hallmarks of our country.
The Warriors' 2016-2017 championship season cemented their place at the top of Trump's list of most hated sports figures and organizations, right alongside Colin Kaepernick, Megan Rapinoe, and the United States women's national team, plus LeBron James, just to name a few. Instead of wasting their time and giving some undeserved positive PR to a petulant racist like Trump, the Warriors decided to use their time in Washington in a much more productive way.
African-American history and culture. So instead, Curry and the rest of the team spent Tuesday with local kids at the Smithsonian's African American History Museum. Curry posted some video on Instagram.
We're here, checking out our history and our culture.
Instead of unifying and trying to calm the storm, he's creating it over and over again. We see it with his tweets every day. You know, he used the word sons of to talk about NFL players who have made it clear they're protesting racial inequality and police brutality. Those are sons of really? You're the president of the United States, you're going to call them sons of.
This was the perfect response from Kerr, not only because it shows the blatant hypocrisy of Trump and the Republicans latching on to an anti-free speech stance while posturing as the party that protects freedom, but looking back on it now, it also revealed how the right wing would react to the larger Black Lives Matter protest movement and the numerous demonstrations that led up to the protests of George Floyd's murder.
Trump's rhetoric is exacerbating everything, but for me, I'm 52. This is the scariest that the world has ever felt to me. You know, I was born after, I think I was probably 2 years old during the Cuban Missile Crisis. I was 6 or 7 when Vietnam was going on. So by the time I was really aware of my surroundings, the Cold War would have been the big one, but that didn't seem like that big of a deal.
Right.
Just felt like the world was a safe, great place. And that's changed for me and my perception, and not just the last few years, but over about the last, 20, 25.
It is truly sad and a terrible reflection on our country that something said almost 7 years ago is still just as relevant as it is today, especially when the person he's referring to, Donald Trump, still has a legitimate shot at ascending to the presidency yet again and finishing what he started the first time around.
Are the Chinese wrong to be putting pressure on the NBA, sir?
Well, the NBA is a different thing. I mean, I watch this guy, Steve Kerr, and he was like a little boy. He was so scared to be even answering the question. He couldn't answer the question. He was shaking. I don't know. He didn't know how to answer the question. And yet he'll talk about the United States very badly. I watched the way that, like, Kerr, Popovich, and some of the others were pandering to China, and yet to our own country, it's like they don't respect it. It's like they don't respect it. I said, what a difference. Isn't it sad?
Now, after years of dormancy, the beef between Kerr and Trump has been reignited, with the coach speaking at the Democratic National Convention in Chicago.
So the last time I was in a packed basketball arena was in Paris, France. 9 days ago, some of the best players on earth, 12 incredible American men, came together to win Olympic gold. And the next night, I was back in that same building watching 12 more of the best players on earth. Our incredible American women do the same thing. And I cannot think of a better metaphor for what this country is all about than the way Team USA came together at the Olympics. We had players from across our wonderful country, players who have trained and fought relentlessly, shed tears trying to beat one another throughout their careers, joining forces to wear the red, white, and blue. And when we won, the American flag raised to the rafters, the national anthem playing, gold medals draped around the necks of our players, whose hands were held over their hearts. It was the proudest moment of my life. Thank you.
From the vibes of the arena and Kerr's rhetoric alone, you could see how different the DNC crowd is from what we saw at the RNC. The USA chant takes on a whole different meaning when it's not juxtaposed with mass deportation signs and white nativist policy positions.
Is that as a coach and former player, as a husband, a son, a father, even a grandfather, and as an American, I believe in a certain kind of leadership. I believe that leaders must display dignity. I believe that leaders must tell the truth. I believe that leaders should be able to laugh at themselves. I believe leaders must care for and love the people they are leading. I believe leaders must possess knowledge and expertise, but with the full awareness that none of us has all the answers. And in fact, some of the best answers often come from members of the team. And if you look for those qualities in your friends or your boss or an employee or your child's teacher or your mayor, then shouldn't you want those same qualities in your president? And when you think about it that way, this is no contest. By the way, coach to coach, that guy's awesome. Leadership, real leadership. Not the kind that seeks to divide us, but the kind that recognizes and celebrates our common purpose. Think about what our team achieved with 12 Americans in Paris, putting aside rivalries to represent our country. Now imagine what we could do with all 330 million of us playing on the same team. Not as Democrats, not as Republicans, not as libertarians, but as Americans who know the greatness of this nation doesn't come from any one of us, but from each of us doing our part to build a more perfect union.
While we have some valid reservations about the Harris-Walz ticket with how they will respond to calls to stop the ongoing genocide and our tax dollars funding in Gaza, how the administration plans to quell the power of corporations and special interests and pushing the party platform further to the left, we're leaving the door open for them to prove all of us wrong.
After the results are tallied that night, we can, in the words of the great Steph Curry, we can tell Donald Trump, night, night. Thank you.
If you can and are willing, please become a paid member here at TYT Sports. And or go to tyt.com/join. In addition, you can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Appreciate it. Have a great day.